proud of the guys as always. I think the last couple of games we were in a situation with backs against the wall. And, earlier in the season when we got into those moments, you could look in the guys' eyes in the timeout, and we weren't very confident in those situations. And I think the last couple of games we've displayed a belief in ourselves and a character that when things aren't going well, we can still find a way. So tonight was good. A lot of credit to Richie and his team, South Alabama. They were down a couple of key guys, and they really did dictate to us the tempo of the game and the way the game was to be played. And they played with great confidence. I think they outplayed us for the vast majority of the game. But I'm proud of the guys that we found a way to win, and we just got to get better. I like that we find a way to win, but I prefer if we play well. That would be nice. So that's the next step for us, is to go out and really play the way we're capable of playing. We'd like to do that sometime soon.
Questions?
Just talk about Kane Williams' performance, drawing that charge and also scoring the final 2 baskets, and discuss his contributions just to the victory.
Yeah, proud of Kane to make those 2 plays. That's you can't assign guys leadership roles. They have to earn it, and that's how you do it. You walk the walk, and in a critical late game situation like that, to put your body into play for the team is what a leader would do. And he's growing as a leader, but he's always been a competitor. So in those situations, I do believe he's going to step up and try to do what it takes to win. And I trust him, and I'm proud of the way he finished the game. My man in the back.
Coach, it seems like they kind of sold you guys down, doing full court pressure, and then went to a zone. How are you guys able to counter that?
Well, we anticipated that because they've been doing that the last several weeks. And, we started out the game. We averaged 79 points a game. We still finished with 76, and we didn't shoot the ball particularly well. And I think the game was like 11-1 or something, something like that. We went down big to start the game, and we still put 76 points on the board. So we can score the ball, but we settled, and a lot of the credit goes to them, we settled for shots. They dictated to us the quality of our shots, which is a good job on their part. We got to do a better job playing against zone. We've been playing against zone like every game now, and so we should start to establish a rhythm against it. Yeah, man. Yep. Yes, sir.
So Justin Robinson and Corey and Damien Winston had 4 shooting nights. What did you just say to them in the huddle just to encourage them and encourage them to keep going?
Not in the huddle. I mean, you know what? Those guys know I believe in them and I trust them. So I'm going to take the good with the bad. I just want the effort to be consistent. I thought today, probably more so than any game we've played all year, was the first time I felt like our energy level was poor to start the game. We generally, and we say this as a team, we're responsible for our own energy. We don't give that responsibility to the crowd, the opposing team. It's our responsibility to come out and make the most of these few fleeting opportunities that we get to go out and compete. And today was one of those days where we kind of let a great opportunity pass because we didn't put 40 minutes of effort and energy into that game. But to our guys' credit, they still found a way to win the game. But as far as the shots or the percentages, Justin started out 1 for 13 on the year. And I told him if he stopped shooting, I'm going to take him out the game. So I don't worry about the percentages. As long as good shooters are taking good shots, I want them to do that, and I want them to learn how to make good decisions, and we got to continue to improve in that area.
Nelson Phillips made 2. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You actually took it right out of my mouth. Nelson Phillips had a great game off the bench, 15 points. And you could tell he kind of just had a lot of energy. What was his impact that you saw from your end coming into the game?
Yeah, there was one guy who did play with energy from the time he came in, and it was Nelson, and it energized us. He's a playmaker on both ends, and sometimes his instincts will get the best of him, but more often than not, he does do something to help us, a deflection, a steal, a rebound. He had an unbelievable block shot in the game that could have led to an opportunity. We had a chance in that transition to take the lead. So I'm definitely proud of Nelson because he was the one guy that I thought really energized us in the first half, and then he followed that up with a great effort. And again, this is back-to-back games now where he's done that for us. So proud of him.
Coach Joe Jones, he didn't attempt a shot today, but Jaden Thomas, he came in and he shot 3 of 3 from the field. Are you considering making another starting change at the center position?
No, I like the rotation that we've developed. You know, I'm not making those decisions based on statistics. If Jalen's going to come off the bench and get 8 points and 4 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, if he can do that off the bench, starting, it doesn't really matter, you know. And then if the next game Joe does it, do I put him back in, you know, like, so I like the rotation that we have. And what we're asking those guys to do is to rebound and defend. Mm-hmm. And anything they do offensively is a bonus. You know, we'll make changes if we deem them necessary or if they're going to make a profound impact on the direction we're going as a team. But we're not going to game by game go, all right, this guy had the better stats, we're going to start him the next game. We're not going to do it like that. We want those guys to both focus on their job, and they both need to get better at that.
Coach Anthony with Panther Report News. You guys finished shooting from the free throw line 75.8% to South Alabama 62.1%. How would you just evaluate your free throw shooting overall and just the impact they had in this game in particular?
Well, Nelson's 2 free throws at the end made a big difference. You know, being up 3 or versus 1 or 2 with 10 seconds to go is a big difference. And then we decided to foul at the end. We almost waited a little too long on that, but we got it done. You know, free throw shooting is important. It's an important part of the game. And anytime you're shooting in the 70s as a team, that's good, and we like to get better from there. And you know, we don't work on a lot of free throw shooting. You know, I think that's a mental thing. The teams I've been on where you spend a lot of time working on free throws is because you can't make them. And the teams that have good shooters are pretty good at making them. And the more big a deal you make out of it, sometimes I think it becomes like this psychological thing. I think we got good shooters. I think we got some competitive guys. And for the most part, the better shooters step up and make them at a pretty good percentage. I think Corey's percentage is less than it should be because he is a really good shooter and he's had a career of making free throws, and he's gotten off to a slow start, but I think the numbers will tip back in his favor, this young lady.
So the team is undefeated at home. Coming into the game knowing like that was on the line, can you talk about how intense, you know, the arena was with the fans and everybody cheering? It was super loud.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was a great energy at the end of the game. You know, I want us to improve in that way. You know, like I want us to get to a point where the student body recognizes that they've got some classmates that are serious student athletes that are about all the right things, that they represent this institution with class and hard work, and that they come out and support them because they're a strong representative of our student body. I want that to happen, and that's something that I think has to be organic, but I want them to be proud of their classmates. Like, these are good dudes doing the right things the right way. And I want our student body to learn that as we go. Not only is this team winning and playing hard, but they're conscientious, they're humble, they're respectful, they're responsible, and that we all doing this together. You know, I want the community to get behind them, but more than anything, I want the student body to come out and get behind these guys because I do think they're worthy of the support of their classmates.
So in the second half, number 33 for South Alabama, he stayed at the free throw line quite a bit. What was he doing to make a big open?
I'm sorry, I missed that part of that question.
In the second half, number 33 for South Alabama, he stayed at the free throw line quite a bit.
Josh
What was
Johnny.
he doing inside to make a big open?
Yeah, you know what, he's a big, strong veteran guy, you know, and he's bigger and stronger than most of our guys, but he also is good facing up and driving the ball. He's a veteran player. You know, he's older, stronger, more mature. You could just tell by his body. And we were sitting there at the end of the game saying, who you want to put on him? And the staff was like, well, who you want to put on him? I don't know who you want to put on him. It was just, you know, but we settled on Josh doing it and relied on Josh's quickness and his athleticism and the fact that he's older in that moment that maybe we could get a couple of stops. But Jalen did a good job. Joe tried, but on a face-up from the perimeter, he's a load. He's a really good player, and he gave us a lot of trouble.
Coming into Saturday's game, you guys won 5 of your last 6, looking pretty confident. The only loss of your last 6 games has come against the team we'll see on Saturday in Troy. They kind of shot you guys out of the gym a little bit when you visited them last 2 weeks ago. What's the mindset of this team and kind of the approach coming into Saturday's game?
You know what? Boy, Scott Cross is a heck of a coach, and I knew that, and I knew going in there that they were going to be good, and I felt like going into that game that our guys, our lack of maturity led us to thinking that the game was going to follow a script. We're at the top of the league, they're near the bottom of the league, so here's how the movie's going to play out. And they didn't go by the script, and all of a sudden we're looking at one another saying, whoa, we're in the middle of a really good game, how did this happen? Right? And it happened because there's a really good coach with good players who's building a program that could beat anybody, and this is conference play. That's the way it works. And who are we to think that it should be otherwise, right? And this is what I'm talking about, why humility is such a big part of how we're trying to run our program, because you have to be mature enough and you have to respect the game enough to treat every opponent like it's a real challenge. And so this will be one of 2 times that we'll get an opportunity to have a rematch against a team that previously beat us, because we don't get to play Arkansas State again. So I hope there won't be any need for motivation, and I'm not going to waste my energy trying to motivate them. We're going to have a plan. We're going to go out and execute the plan, and if they need to be motivated, then we're going to get beat by them again.
Time for one more.